Adrian!
I'm sorry, Adrian, we forgot to record. But we are recording now and we'll record for the rest of the lesson.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay! He's also going to come into my other classes, so it's not the end of the world, but that's okay. Anyway, so Adrian, what we've done so far is we've written the rest of this paragraph. Where we've actually worked in, so we've got our topic sentence, we've got where we've kind of worked in the tone and the argument into the topic sentence. And then what we've done is the body paragraph where we've presented the technique or the persuasive pull. And then the yellow is the question 1 analysis. And then the pink is the question 2 analysis. And then we've done another technique for question 1. Then we've done another technique, which is the blue again. Then question 1 again. Then question 2 again. And that's basically all you missed. So you're welcome. We just skipped you forward 45 minutes. Anyway, so now what we're going to do, Adrian, is show you how to add in some comparison. And we're going to pretend that this is an Article 2 paragraph, and we're going to add in some comparison to the Peter Dutton article. So, tell me, where can I find some areas that I could compare? What kinds of things are you allowed to compare? Do you know? Good. There's a whole list on this. It's around here somewhere. Did I miss it? No, it's still... Here we go. Arguments, persuasive techniques, statements made, emotions, thoughts conjured. So you can make comparisons with all of those kinds of things. So, what could I compare? I could compare their argument. I reckon a good place to always start with comparison is tone, because tone's a really easy thing to compare. Especially with these two. Their tone is completely different, isn't it? Like, the Jacques article is all very, like, sarcastic. Particularly in this argument, it's super sarcastic. Whereas Dutton never uses sarcasm. He's very genuine. Yeah, he's formal, genuine, and overwhelmingly positive. So could we work in something like that? So we could have Jacques begins his article by sarcastically condemning the emotional damage of the same-sex marriage ballot. This is what could we look at? Let's see. Whereas, let's use that. Whereas Dutton's tone throughout his piece is formal but overwhelmingly positive. Yeah. Whereas Dutton's tone throughout the piece is formal but overwhelmingly positive. Does that make sense? Yeah. Maybe I could even add due to his liberal bias. Ooh, touching on relationship. Ooh, look at me, I'm so fancy. Now, as we know, everything that is comparison is poo green. So we got to do it the ploppy colour. Nice. Okay, so I've got some comparison in here. All right, then the next thing we say is about the subject of horrifying homophobia. Oh, why don't we use a really good comparison to that would be how Dutton is like, oh, that wasn't really a thing. He says it right at the start where he's like, he calls it overhyped claims of people self-harming and people getting abused. That's an excellent comparison, isn't it? So, why don't we say, how about on one hand, I'd have to change that to Jacques, wouldn't I? Jacques. On one hand, Jacques states, so this would get in poo green. You with me? Stay with me. On one hand, Jacques states that people from blah, 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 unlike Dutton, who said that these type of claims were, let's use his word, what was it, overhyped? Overhyped. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just turning this into a comparison paragraph.
Otherwise it'd be like a normal. Okay.
Yeah. So this is like a paragraph 2, like an article 2 analysis now. So, can you see how I'm just working that in? And I'm just finding those little bits of comparison. That is what you have to do. Comparison is easier as that. You just find little bits. And you don't have to compare everything. You don't have to do it for like everything you say. Just like things that you go, oh, that's a good comparison. Oh, that could work. Oh, that's similar but a little bit different. Yeah? It encourages the reader to feel sympathetic for those who copped abuse. Blah, blah, blah. This would potentially leave the reader feeling negative towards any postal votes. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I could say, so like where it says feel negatively towards any future postal votes and possibly a dangerous move, I could say proposed postal votes. Obviously, Dutton wants us to feel negative about future postal votes too, doesn't he? Because he doesn't want any more postal votes. So we could say this would like Dutton's piece, potentially leave the reader feeling any, feeling negative towards any future postal votes. Isn't it funny how the poo looks different with the pink?
What? I think it's just because you highlighted it. Is it?
It just looks like, in contrast, it looks like a different colour. Anyway, cool. And then I might go, however, unlike Jacques, Dutton sees no problem with its use to establish opinions on same-sex marriage. It just shouldn't be used in future. Yeah? So the comparison adding is actually super easy because obviously they're all about the same issue. So it's not going to be hard to find areas of comparison because they're either going to say things that are similar or they're going to say things that are different. And if it was something that had the same argument, all you would do is say, similarly, Dutton says this. Similar to, his use of sarcasm, someone else also uses sarcasm. You just kind of create similarities. Does that make you feel a little bit more secure about how to compare? Yeah? Do you want to keep going and making comparisons? Or do you feel like, no, I get it. I get where your head's at. We can continue. Yeah?
So, because in the third argument, like a third
Article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do that in like the next argument within the first article? Like, would you add in?
Yeah. So I'll bring you to this. Hang on. Where is the? Okay. So looking at this, everything that is red should have some comparison in it. Okay, so the intro to Article 2 should have a little bit of comparison, and we said the easiest place to add that would be in a linking sentence. And then Article 2, when you're talking about your first argument, like we just did in our Word doc, start feeding it in. Okay, and then when you do your second argument, try and feed it in where you can. Then you move into your third article, okay, and that article would compare articles, compare to Article 1 and 2. Yeah. Okay, so that would kind of be able to talk about both articles, whereas Article 2 would only really talk about Article 1. Okay, does that make sense? Because it wouldn't talk about Article 3. Article 2 couldn't talk about Article 3 because it hasn't introduced it yet. It hasn't really talked, like it hasn't actually brought it up as an issue yet. And otherwise, if it talked about Article 3, then you'd be doubling up when you got to your third article. So leave that for there. Make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So like the first article, the
Yep.
thing at the top,
Yep.
that's just about like the first argument, and then you can introduce like a review of the second article.
Yeah. So you don't need to talk about any other articles in your Article 1. So Article 1 is just Article 1. Article 2 is Article 1 and 2. Article 3 is Article 1, 2 and 3. Yeah. Does that make sense? Sort of. I know. Courtney's looking overwhelmed, but she's nodding, which is good. Makes me feel slightly okay.
You have to read 3 articles.
You have to read 3 articles. Who are you, Ty?
We're comparing 3.
Ty had this question yesterday. Yeah. So you will get 3 articles, but it's going to be 1 large article and 2 smaller articles. So it'll be 1, probably not even the size of the Dutton article. It won't be that big, but it might be like a page and a bit. And then there will be 2 smaller articles.
Gotcha.
Okay? So we're not going to give you anything that you couldn't read in 10 minutes. Yeah. We want you to be able to have read it and understood it in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay? So, like, I'll be obviously choosing it and editing it to make sure that it can fit those parameters. Yeah. Any questions about the structure? Do you feel a little bit more secure about it? I think the best thing to do for the next period is actually getting you to practice it and getting it like solidified in your brain of how to use it. What I might do is send you a copy of what we just did, so send you that. But what I'm gonna do, just so that like we have it separate, is I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna get rid of all the comparison so that it just looks like a normal Article 1 paragraph. Undo, 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 and then I'll paste it underneath with it. Sorry, I just don't want to go too far. I think that's it. I'll paste the comparison one underneath, so that way you can kind of see both, and it doesn't look too berserkus. Okay, and I'll give it a heading. And a comparison paragraph example. And then this is a Article 1 paragraph example. Does that make sense? See, now you're getting to see all the fun stuff that I do when you're not around. This is what I do when you're not around. I write practice pieces and edit and play around with fonts because my life. All right. Questions, queries, concerns?
How are you?
Look, I have a cup full of student tears, so like, not all bad.
Oh, come on.
Delicious. A student bought it for me last year. It's my cup full of student tears. So good. Delicious. So, look, I'm not bad. I'm doing okay. Should I send this to you now?
Yes.
And then you add to it?
Yes.
Yay! Let's do that. I'm excited. So, if you want to get your laptops out, it seems like most of you already had them out. Probably, shopping for Yeezys, but, sure. Yeezys. The old